Hello, it's Mary Beth Shaw from StencilGirl Products. Welcome to my vlog for May of 2021. So we had two questions this time that were kind of about the same thing. And one of them was from Hadley and one was from Lindy. And I'm gonna send them both gift cards because I think it's a good question that people are going to want to know. They asked it in different ways, but basically they were talking about using the opposite of the stencil. And they're talking about our stencil masks, or this is a mask, okay? I try not to get real hung up on the definition between a stencil and a mask. Basically, a stencil is if it would have open spaces and you would put the paint down and you would get a tree. This is a mask, so when you put this down and you put paint over top of it and you lift it up, the paint goes in the opposite of the tree parts. I'm going to show you some examples of this, and then I'm going to show you how to print the actual tree limbs, because I think that is what a lot of people are interested in learning how to do. And I don't blame you, because it's fun. It's super cool. I'm going to use this PBO burnt umber paint for this. I think burnt umber, or no, raw umber is the color. Okay, so let's just put the stencil here beside the paint first, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to pounce, just in case you're new to the stencil, using stencils. We put the acrylic paint on a dense sponge and we pounce up and down. We do not go like this because the stencil will flip around, and it'll also go underneath the stencil to some extent. And you want to get that nice crisp design. So up and down is the way to go. All right, so when you remove it, the paper creates the tree, but where you put the paint is the background. So that is a mask. But what people are wanting to do is get the actual tree. So I'm gonna show you how to do this. I've just got a stack of 9x12 papers here to show you this process. And the best thing to do is to get, I think, just a cheap sponge brayer or a roller of some sort, and then you're going to need another roller too. So let's go ahead and get our roller all inked up with paint, and then you're going to want a piece of scrap paper underneath the stencil, and then I'll put the other papers up here. All right, so I put the paint on the stencil with a roller like this, because I think it makes it, if you're rolling it on like this with an actual sponge, it makes it fairly juicy. So now you have a piece that you can use. Then you put this face down, and then I put another piece of paper on top, and I use the other roller to transfer the paint. And then here you even got a little bit of the edging. So, I mean, I never throw anything away. And here you go. You have a nice little effect there. Now, the more we do this and the more I get this filled with paint, the more it's going to appear on this stencil. The juicier it's going to be, and the better result you're going to get. So let's do this again. Let's just use this as our scrap paper. We've got it inked up even more, and we'll go across this and hopefully get even a little bit more paint on the actual stencil. And both of the people that wrote in said that they had played around with trying this on a gel printing plate, but they hadn't gotten the results they wanted. So that's the reason I thought I wanted to show it and see. Let's try doing it without the top paper and see. Now see, here's what happens if you go without the top paper. You get a little bit of smearing because it smushes some paint out under the stencil and then it deposits elsewhere. Now we did get a darker color there, okay? Getting better, righto, righto. And this is a somewhat transparent paint anyway, so if you use, let's do this. Let's put a little of this paper artsy in here. It's a more of an opaque paint. We'll have 2 browns, okay? 2 brown colors. Really get this sponge saturated. All right, let's use the back. We'll lay this down again. I can't even tell which is our painted side anymore. And I'm gonna just focus. Let's focus and do it in a different way. Let's pounce it on rather than rolling it. And that will give you the most paint coverage. So here's different ways to do it depending on what type of a look you're going for. All right, so there's a lot of paint on there, and I like that. Now that's actually kind of interesting too, right? I'm gonna put, ooh, I have a little boo-boo on that. I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna put this on top. Use my clean brayer again. And voila, that is the cleanest and the most densely painted look of all the ones we've got. And indeed, it's my favorite. So once again, sponges, I think, work the best. And maybe just a regular big sponge would be fine, but the roller gives you a nice little effect too with getting some of the mask results. So there's a lot of ways to tackle this, and hopefully one of the ways I presented will be interesting enough for you to try, and you will find that it gets the results you're looking for. Thank you, Hadley and Lindy, for asking this question. I'm glad I could help out and hopefully give you some ideas for how to achieve positive and negative effects with your stencils. They will both be getting gift cards from StencilGirl Products, and I appreciate them asking the question. I look forward to you asking me your questions. Ask me anything. I'm happy to answer. Thanks for watching.